Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Huh? It's the house!
What's going on, freakazoids? Oh, jeez. Guess we're gonna have to go over... we gotta go through the comments underneath my last video. Gotta do it. Gotta do it. I think Lisa Valenzuela showed up under there and gave up after a while. She was just like, it's just crazy in there. Absolute nuts. Feel a little bit tired today. Just kind of been, you know, starting to get cloudy and raining and. It is crazy in there. I've never. This case makes the Idaho case seem tame. Honestly, I mean it's crazy out there. Oh yeah, the water tower they imported in. Yeah, it's crazy. I made that video. I put that video out that I made for today really late at night. I put it out there. It didn't seem to ever catch on again. I mean, it got up to 15,000 views, but that's not really that great. I don't know, man. I think it's hard to get views when you're... see, the problem is people think that I'm... They think it's like I'm naive and I just sort of caved into the narrative that the FBI puts out. Yeah, that's what they think, but that's not really how I do it. I look at the information they give, I go through it, and then you compare it to what you see, and that's what I see. I mean, it's the same thing. It's weird how these people, they type in stuff like, in the comments, things like, there's a lot of holes in this case. And I'll say, like, where? I mean, where's the hole, for God's sakes? I don't see it. I don't see a hole in the case. Law enforcement has everything. You know, they have all the timing and they have the videos and everything. And we know they have it because they described it in the probable cause document. And then they continue to describe it in the same sentences. And then we actually saw that portion of the video. So it's like they just showed us a portion that they thought maybe could help identify him, things like that. Yeah, I mean, that guy has long hair in the back, right? See, it doesn't matter. Every day there's a new conspiracy, and guess what? It's easy to debunk. And the reason it's easy to debunk is because it's not true. I mean, it's just, immediately you can just debunk the hell out of it because it just isn't true. Hey, thanks, Mindful and Joel Burnt. There we go. Now, hold on, I gotta get this. All right, there we go. I know, I think the reality is pretty interesting too, you know, kind of like Adam was saying yesterday. You know, I've always thought that there's a possibility that the people on Discord and, you know, there might even have been somebody there, you know, texting him saying, "Hey, here's a good time. He's out. Here's where he is," or something. There could be something like that. You know, that would be interesting. You know, and then maybe that's part of that organization that was mentioned that they're investigating, the armed trans people. You know, that's interesting, right? But why does there have to be, like, isn't it just absurd to keep saying that there was another shooter and Tyler Robinson was just laying up there? What was he doing, by the way? What was Tyler Robinson doing on the roof if there's another shooter? That's just it, Grant. I don't think that's Tyler Robinson. You see, because... Yeah. All right. Well, you need to go get your head examined. Yeah, there's people that they're not going to get over the... Well, the reason is because they see this skin tone up by the plant. I actually think that element is somebody put it there. That skin tone. There's no way in hell it looks like... I've actually seen all the different footage and everything. And I've seen the shape that they present, but it's just not... it's not there. Okay? So I think the guy that got 7 million views, you know, did it because he faked making it look like... Well, he actually took that video from somebody else. And then somehow he put it out there and got, you know, whatever how many million views it got. But hey guys, we're doing another show, so while you're watching, if you want to help support the channel, that would be awesome, as Kami just typed in. You know, my videos aren't doing as well currently for ad revenue, so unfortunately, you know, if you guys have the ability to, you do. If you don't, you don't, but that's just the way it is. I mean, I don't have any other, you know, if I could get like 60,000 views, that would be like making up a night, but we're not getting that. Like yesterday, the video that I made $75 in ad revenue. And then today's is probably something similar, maybe. Okay, so that's, you know, if you multiply 75 times 30, that's $2,100, and we just donated $5,000 last month. So, you know, you can do the math there. It doesn't really work out. Thanks for all you're doing. We appreciate it. Hey, cool. Awesome. Yeah, I don't know about the hyping thing, how that actually works. But Gray! Thanks, Raven. He does kind of look like Elvis. And thanks, Tamran127. But Gray! No, he's not a patsy, Scott. That's just the thing. See, you're Scott B in the chat is saying, I agree, Tyler's a patsy. And he's saying it with absolutely zero evidence of any kind. But he's saying that Tyler Robinson is a patsy because he wants to believe something. There is no evidence whatsoever saying that Tyler Robinson or showing he is a patsy. I don't give a damn what acoustical idiot you're listening to, or some guy going, ooh, look at the bulge over here. It had to have been shot over here. It's garbage, man. You're being sold a bill of goods. Don't embarrass yourself. Make sure you switch to the logical, reasonable, rational side before this all comes out, because you're going to look like an absolute fool at some point. All right, let's see. Do you think all the conspiracy theories are only giving us less compassion as a whole? The Kirk family and building a defense for Tyler Robinson. I don't know. I'm not sure what it's doing. That's right. The cold, hard facts. Yeah, it's just I think the defense team, as soon as they go over the voluminous information, they're going to realize that their client has virtually no shot in hell. Now, unfortunately, the nut job conspiracy theorists will think, oh, they're working for the state, blah, blah, blah. They've already started that narrative. They're already sort of pushing that out there. Yeah, I'm not getting views because I'm not doing that. I was doing really well at the beginning because I was putting out stuff that, figuring out stuff, putting it out there precisely. And then the whole viewership morphed into wanting to see more conspiracy. Right? So, there's that gray guy. Yeah, okay. Well, this will probably just be more propaganda, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Thanks, Michelle H. and K. Me. Right there. Tamran. Raven 187. Joel Burnt. Yeah, I can tell this is going to be another one of those ones. It's going to be tough, but it's okay. All right, I want to talk about the Chuck Taylors. Okay, I mean he's wearing Chuck Taylors in like pretty much every photograph you see him in. In these photos, I'm pretty sure he's probably got him in the. I guess we could. Let me open up the. Not that one. I have it in here. Maybe. Let's see. No. No, not in there either. I'm just looking for that surveillance footage. The body camera. I have it in one of these folders. Thanks, SBA. Welcome. And Nate Campbell and Alley Cake. That's so many. I think it's this one right here. There you go. I don't know if he, I don't know if he's wearing them in this one. What are we at here? 2156. Oh, that one didn't go in there, right? Oh man, I'm just trying. I exported it out again. It doesn't go into Adobe Premiere the way it came originally, so I've got to try to find it. I just found it, but that's not the version that you can see on Adobe Premiere. Oh, there it is, right there. Okay, this one I can bring in. All right. Hey, thanks. Wild Bill Wassman. And hold on, I missed somebody. Wild Bill Wassman, Alan Olson, Linda Howe, and Carolina. Thanks, guys. Only got 3 gifted channel memberships, you guys. We got to do see if we can do some more of those. Those are always cool. All right, let's see. Where were we at? What was that number I said a minute ago? 21 something. I don't know if he's got. Doesn't look. I don't know if he's got Chuck Taylors on this one. It's hard to tell though. Those just look like. I don't know. What do you think? I can't tell. I think he has a pair of gray Chuck Taylors. What do you guys think? Yeah, it's hard to tell. Yeah, it's hard to tell on some of these shots. Let me just see if there's some other ones where he's further away. Oh, that could have been. Ah, God, look at that. Just out of range. Man, that's crazy. Oh, these are 2 different cameras. I don't know. They don't really look like it. I wasn't really even thinking about this one. I'm just randomly looking at it. I don't know, SBA. Why don't you just watch the show? You ever thought of doing that? Yeah. Let's see. I can't stand when people come in and question the value of doing my shows. You know, just do what you got to do. Go take off, you know, or be part of the show, watching it, etc. But I just don't need the shitty feedback, you know. I already spend too much time trying to get ready and doing stuff. I don't need that crap. Yeah. And if you come back with a flippant response, I'll be timing you out. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I can't tell. I'm not going to spend more time on that one, though. I can tell you that. Hey, Scott, get the hell out of here. Jesus. Block that person. Not interested. It wasn't idiotic. It just seems kind of rude, you know. All right. I have a feeling this is going to be one of those shows that that's not fun for me. It's already starting off that way. We'll see, though. We'll see. Yeah, so the thing is we've got this... It's okay, SBA. Hey, thanks, Sandy Shirley, waving, Michelle H. and Alley Cake. I don't know if it did. I don't see it, Nate. There might have been one earlier. No, there was one up there. Thanks, Robinski. All right, so let's see. See, what I was just trying to look at I'm trying to get people to see just the inevitability of all this. I don't understand just the crazy pushback every single time, over and over and over again, about every single, like, there's so many elements that literally point to Tyler Robinson, circumstantially and physical evidence. And when I said in the comments, I said, this is one of the strongest cases I've ever seen, people go, oh, and they laugh at it. It really is, you guys. I mean, don't most of you agree that are sitting here following along? It is just devastating at this point. You'd have to come up with these massive conspiracies with many, many people to believe otherwise. Thanks, Nate Campbell. Oh yeah, do you need to see me? Yeah. Yeah, I think it's one of the strongest cases I've ever seen. I mean, right out of the chute to have this much information. So when you say it's a darn strong case, I think it's way stronger than Koberger's. Like this is 10 times that. Koberger, it was like, okay, a DNA on the sheath, but then there wasn't really video of him doing stuff. This has video of him doing it. It's way more stronger than that one. And even that one was 100%. Like, it was just like, oh, yeah. See, there's a certain point where, that phrase that people use, like reasonable doubt? It's not reasonable at a certain point to believe something else. Is it reasonable to, instead of, like, once you come up with a conspiracy theory and it's proven wrong, is it really that reasonable for you to then go to another conspiracy theory instead of just looking at the facts of the case? Is that you're having a problem with that? Hey, look, we got an idiot on Twitter that said Koberger was never at 1122 King Road. Ah, jeez. What a fool. What an embarrassment. Let's see. Yeah, even though he said he was there. Man, these people are crazy, man. How did you even get out of high school or grade school or any of that crap? Yeah. What evidence do you have that places Koberger at 1122 King Road? Well, let me see. His DNA was on the knife sheath that was found on the bed, and then his car, which was missing a front license plate because in Pennsylvania they don't require front license plate, was driving around in the neighborhood over and over and over, doing laps. And, okay. Hey, Truth Spear, we're gonna have to get rid of you, man. You're not interesting, all right? This person's just being a stupid troll on Twitter. You know how they are, though. Embarrassing people. All right. Yeah, I'm absolutely sure. Truth Pair. Okay. And I know that because he admitted it. Yeah, I can answer all your questions, Truth Pair. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make a special trip over to Twitter to block you, okay? Because you're one of those people that it doesn't matter what you say, you're just going to be a troll. I know how it works. I've seen it. I've seen people like you before. You're not somebody that is really here for, like you're trying to be part of a conversation. You're just being an idiot. All right, so see you later, buddy. Where is this person? I gotta... Right there. Okay, good. All right, you're out of here. Yeah, you don't have to put up... it's crazy, man. Yeah, they're over on Twitter. Had to mute the person. Oh, well. They were just basically spamming the chat there. Right, okay, anyways, forget this part here, but what I was looking at was in this document right here, or this part of the document. See, this is something like we kind of overlook sometimes. It says right here, investigators also discovered a shoe impression on the northeast corner of the rooftop edge of the Losi Center building. The shoe impression was located in the vicinity where suspect climbed down from the rooftop. The shoe impression is consistent with the shoe sole characteristics of a Converse Chuck Taylor shoe. See, that's a big piece of information, right? Because he owns Chuck Taylors. He wears them. In fact, the person in the video who is Tyler Robinson was wearing Chuck Taylors. All right, so when you take a look at this, those right there are Chuck Taylors. Now, I think they might be gray, the color of the ones he's wearing, right? I mean, they could be black, and then they've been washed so many times over the years that they turn sort of a gray color. You know, I don't know. You know, but they do make gray Chuck Taylors, just like the picture on the thumbnail. But look at those. I mean, crystal clear. And then you go over to, let's go to this one. And apparently, right up here on the roof, probably just as he was about ready to step down, like right there, when he pressed down with all of his weight and then let himself down. It wasn't on the ground, it was on the roof where that impression was. If it looks blue to you, your brain's fried, okay? All right, so he's jumping down. And, you know, we've seen all this a million times. So it could be like one that looked like this. All right, I mean, that could be the color that he's wearing. Don't know. But it's in every single one of, like, you know, I don't know if you can see it in this one. Let's see. I mean, you might be able, you know, nah, it's just, you're not going to be able to tell in that one. These, you can sort of tell, like, it's consistent. I mean, he's obviously wearing the same shoes. This is the person. And there's something else I wanted to say. You know, when you look at this picture here, he doesn't appear to be as thin and whatever. You know, maybe, or shorter. It's just because of the camera angle. See, people don't ever seem to take that stuff into account. Like, if this is basically a 45-degree camera angle, which makes him much shorter and makes everything appear stockier. If you put the camera down at his waist level and aimed it at him, he'd look just as skinny as he does in all of the other images. And we know this is him, right? I don't know. I feel like I'm sort of swimming upstream or something, you know? Like I'm in a river and the river's quicker than I can swim, and I'm swimming as hard as I can, and it's just, you know, you can't make it anywhere. And you guys are having one of those massive lulls right out of the chute here. Hey, look at that. There's Wild Bill Wassman unlulling us. But thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, your brain is fried if you think it looks blue, okay? Yeah, hey, J-Pup, your brain is fried if you think it looks blue, okay? That's why people don't watch you. I've sent 100 people to your channel. Then my brain. Get the hell out of here. What an embarrassment. All right, let's see. Suspect down what? You know, those people never send anybody over. That's why they say, that's why nobody watches you, because they were here as a troll right off the get-go. Okay, that's why they say those things. Somebody that was going to say, that's why they don't watch you, Gray, would never send 100 people over to a channel. Okay, that's just a troll repeating and forgot their script from the group they came from. Right? We know how it works. We get it. We get it. Don't worry about it. Yeah, everybody, those look blue, huh? Yeah, those are about as blue as they come, huh? Yikes. Yeah, and it's always somebody, they always come with, it's always something contradictory. Like, I could literally say, man, it looks like he's got pretty much a black shirt on. I don't think so, Grant. I think it looks purple to me. And they'll just say it to say something contradictory without having any, there's nothing that indicates that that's purple at all, but they'll say it. Pumped up kicks. What? All right, so you look at those ones, and then we have, again, we have these pictures. Now with his blue shoes on here, you guys. And here he comes, coming up the stairs. Again with his blue Chuck Taylors. And then we don't get to see. That's why this is just so amazing. See, they have him on camera walking down the street, into the tunnel, up the stairs into the parking garage. They likely have him, I don't know if there's cameras in there. I mean, we could take a look, I guess. But there's probably cameras in that little street area. Right in here. There's probably a camera or two inside of this area. I'm sure. And then, at this point, he cuts across. There's probably a camera. We know that there's a camera right here. So this camera picked him up. Literally, you could probably see parts of him as he's making his way up into here. And then he goes into this door there, and I'm sure inside this building, there's a camera somewhere, right? But we're not seeing all that stuff because that's not what they do in these kind of cases, everybody. I know, it's just lolling. I'm never watching again. Destiny has already... What does that mean? Destiny has already given up on his life. Police probably have... I'm just telling you. You know that video that came out yesterday where he's at a gas station? I bet there's 10 more of those things. Not maybe at a gas station. And people go, well, why would he buy it with a credit card at a gas station? Great. Well, because look where it is. I mean, this is almost right at home. He's right there, and he lives there. He could just say, oh yeah, I was up there, come up with an excuse. He probably made sure that he could buy it closer to where he lived. He's only 40 miles from home, and, he came from way up there. So let's see the difference there. Over here would be reasonable. And I think at that point, he's just probably like, yeah, he knows they got him. Because he wasn't able to retrieve the gun, and he was stupid that he didn't use gloves using the gun. It just is what it is. The amount of evidence, and yeah, so I mean, just take a look at this. That's where that gas station is. I got really lucky. It was the first. There was like 10 gas stations. The first one I picked was the one he stopped at. It's also one of the first ones as you come in. To that, I think it was like, what was the name of that? Cedar something or other. The town. Cedar City. There you go. Thanks, Megsy. And then, so when he's driving through, there's probably cameras on some of these other businesses. Driving through. Some of, like right here, perhaps, coming by. This place, we don't know if it's constantly running cameras. Maybe it doesn't have anything. This I don't know if what side of the building there's a camera on, etc. But down the highway, they probably checked every place that they could find a camera. And they are checking to see, follow his movements. And I guarantee you, they have him back all the way up in Orem, leaving the area in the morning on some cameras. So there's probably a certain time where he's leaving here. And then when he drives through, maybe, who knows if he gets gas here or something at some, early on. We don't really know. But you know that he's on many cameras leaving the area. And then they'll be able to show that him showing up in Cedar City is consistent with him leaving Orem. They've got all of this stuff. That's why the information is voluminous. What are we looking at, Final Fantasy? You will only use look at if you're trying to get my attention for something. Yeah, he's absolutely on the cameras. But you guys were only at like 40% of a goal. So if you guys are out there and you have the ability to help support the channel, we had another poor video viewing day for ad revenues. So definitely need your guys' support to keep on moving through this month. Starting a new one. 2 decent days in a row. Trying to have a third. Thanks, Anakin. Hey, Gray, there's a photo of Tyler wearing gray Converse shoes. Have you seen them? Well, why don't you send them to my email instead? I got hiccups. I don't have time to go out and check that. I mean, if you send me an email, I'll have it. Yeah, I mean, I know he has different colors. Yeah, but that's not the boyfriend. The boyfriend's not the shooter, though, so. Of course, that's what the conspiracy nutters will say. Oh, look, if the boyfriend has gray Converse, then all of a sudden he's the shooter, everybody. Yeah, that's what Candace Owens is trying to sell. So I like to stay away. Let's just see what Tyler Robinson was wearing. And other persons with supposed video, send it to email. Right. Yeah, I'd love to get actual tips, where it's not like a stupid video tip that some other YouTuber made. Okay, those are all idiotic. All right, if you send me a, something, like you see camera footage or have some piece of information that's real, let me know. I don't want to see other YouTubers, wacko conspiracy theory video, etc., etc., etc. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the boyfriend knew that he killed after the fact. I don't think he knew that he was going there to kill. Yeah, I think all the evidence will show that. I think he knew, that day, but it's not going to show that he knew that he killed Charlie. Like the Twigs isn't going to have known that Tyler Robinson went there to kill. It's possible, but I don't think that's the way it's going to turn out. If you have a question for Gray, put it in a super chat and he'll answer. Yeah, that would be great. Never seems to work out that way. Thanks, Lisa Valenzuela. I don't know. Are you starting to buy into some conspiracy theories, Zozo? I've seen pictures of them together. All right, I've seen them. Let's not do the conspiracy. There is not a conspiracy other than people maybe on Discord, etc. I've seen pictures. Haven't you seen the one where one of them's wearing the little fuzzy face and then the other one? I've seen it. So where's the image? Did you send it to me? Okay, so it's a conspiracy then. Okay, I get it. All right, I'm not doing that. I don't trust anything from other people's videos, only raw footage and yours, Gray. Yeah. They mainly hung out on Discord, but they were together for sure. Yeah, they lived together. Well, it is a conspiracy because what you're wanting to do is prove that they actually knew each other. So if there isn't any pictures of them together, what are you suggesting then? You know, because we know that they were boyfriend, they were dating each other, right? You know, based on their messages, etc. And there's pictures of them together. And even, family members knew that somebody existed. So they were together. So whether or not there's photos that we can all sit there and look at, if there isn't ones, what is that telling you? Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Like, okay, so let's say there's no photos. What are you trying to say? That there's something else going on here. You see, that's what I'm saying. I think I just saw one recently where they're together, like a shot where they're sort of in the same picture, and one of them's got like his little furry face thing on, and it's not a manufactured relationship. All right, we got screenshots of the first round of Discord messages that came out, but got swept away, and the person looked. I mean, I have this thing that I printed off that I was going to read regarding that. It is Tyler Robinson. See, this is what I'm saying. Let's see, this is what this happens right here. See, once we start bringing up these things like, oh, there's no photos, then all of a sudden we get the nut jobs talking about, oh, it's not Tyler Robinson, blah, 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 blah. Get a life, man. It is. It's 100% Tyler Robinson is the shooter of Charlie Kirk. There is no doubt about it. Right, so it's a conspiracy then, Zozo. That's what you're saying. So their conversation isn't normal because it wasn't normal to you, and you haven't seen them together, therefore it's all a conspiracy. That's exactly what you're suggesting. I can hear it. The case isn't a conspiracy. The only thing that there could be is people online that are communicating, like with them in those groups, maybe some transgender group or whatever, and they knew what was happening. Maybe they even gave him, one of the sentences I think was sort of interesting is like he says, I had an opportunity. Well, I don't have a problem. I'm just saying it does make it a conspiracy though. Zozo, that's what I'm saying. Don't you see what I'm saying? I mean, it makes it a conspiracy if you're saying that the letters are fake and that you've never seen any photos of them together, right? Because then what is it? All of a sudden, none of the messages are real. That means they weren't really in a relationship. There was something else going on. Don't you see how that all works together? I can see ahead in time. So what are you suggesting then if that isn't what that is? I don't know how else to do it. I don't know what else that would mean to me. Yeah. I don't have a problem. I'm just listening to what you're saying. No, but it's not. But that's what that is, though, Zozo. I mean, can you explain it the other way? Yeah, you're asking a question, and then you're saying, well, I don't think the letters are legit, and also that you've never seen pictures with them together. I don't know why it upsets you that this is exactly how I respond to every single person that says the exact same thing. I don't have any ill will or anything towards anybody. This is just absolutely how I can see it. I can see it ahead in time. Yeah, that's cool. If you think the partner knew, that's not the conspiracy part. You're saying that they didn't know each other, like there's no pictures of them together. That kind of stuff. I don't care. It doesn't bother me if you think that the person knew that he went there to kill. You can think whatever the hell you want. That's not a conspiracy. That just means that the person knew. It's more of a conspiracy when it starts the, well, wow, they didn't know. I've never seen any pictures of them together. That's weird. And look at that. I don't believe the letters. It seems weird. You know, something's off. Well, then now it's a conspiracy. There is something else then, right? Like a planned thing. Oh, jeez. Here we go. The little coalition building. This I can't stand this when it's like that. It's just crazy. Good for you, Teresa. Good for you. Yay. Let's see. There are even video. And Zozo, you don't need to take it so personally. I'm just saying, I get the part about you don't think that the letter, not the letter, that you think that Twigs knew. I see that. I mean, it wouldn't even shock me. You know, I just don't think so, because I think law enforcement must see other information that we haven't seen. However, maybe not. But it is sort of like you're going down a conspiracy route when you start saying that I think the text message exchange seems contrived, and I've never seen any images of them together. So maybe that's the. So what that's suggesting is that they didn't really even know each other, and so then we really are into a conspiracy theory realm at that point. All right, let's see what the image right here. Oh yeah, I have that picture. Yeah, and that one sort of recently. Yeah, I have that picture already. I just haven't pulled it up out of my file yet. Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying I think there could be something involved with Tyler Robinson and the trans, this community online that they were communicating with. I think they may have helped plan it out. I think it's interesting. I'll tell you what I think is interesting are those quotes, like the things that say stuff like, I had an opportunity and I'm going to take it, which is weird. It's sort of like, well, you already took it, but you had an opportunity. Well, what do you mean? Who gave you the opportunity? See, I thought that's sort of interesting wording, right? Well, you had an opportunity. I don't know if you would really say it like that. So how were you aware of the opportunity and this really specific information of how to do this? Like the corridor, etc. Yeah, well, maybe he was doing it for his partner and he didn't want to say anything. Like he wanted to, later on he could say, hey, I was the one that did that, for you. But he sort of freaked out and spilled the beans earlier. But hey, guys, we're having one of those massive lulls again. So if you guys are out there, if you could help support the channel, that would be great. We've just sort of frozen up again, and it's going to be really hard to reach goals. We're not even at 50% yet. I don't know, Teresa, why are you being a troll? You sound kind of like a troll tonight. I'm going to have to get you on timeout. I always just feel like I don't know, man. I don't know. I put so much time in and thinking through everything, and then, it's just all of a sudden people just start going, and then we're back into the conspiracy realm, and it's just really frustrating for me. That's all I can tell you. So. Yeah, I've said it a million times, you guys, that I think there could be some sort of a connection between the Discord and people online, and maybe they were kind of aware of what he was doing, etc., etc. That's it. Okay? I've said it 16,000 times. Mm-hmm. Right. That's what most logical people think, that the text messages are, that's just the way he talks. You can sort of see that he talks kind of a little bit like that even when he got pulled over the 2 years prior. You know, he sort of sounds like that. You're not really doing that again, right? Plus, what kid says the word vehicle in a text to a friend? We're still doing that thing again? Honestly? Jesus. My God. I mean, I don't really care, but he literally says vehicle when he got pulled over by the police officer. Okay? He actually says it in that thing. Easier out and got himself a boyfriend instead of doing the work to get it. What does that mean, Dale? There's the F word, vehicle on. That's not even weird to say. Yeah, vehicle. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, I think he probably thought of himself as like an intellectual or something. I don't know, I always feel like I get derailed in here. Like I'm on a roll, about to go somewhere, and then it's like, yeah. Now it's like, yeah. Anyways, I was talking about the, you know, Chuck Taylor shoe impressions on the roof. And we have images of him, you know, we've seen this one before, this one right here. We've done this. So he does have the gray ones on in this image here. And this image here looks recent, too. Like, it doesn't look too long ago. Although, I don't know, it's probably 2022 because he's got a mask on. So, maybe he just has different pairs of Chuck Taylors. Don't know. But you just used it in a conversation. This the brakes. And I don't give a damn if you've never used it in a conversation. That's ridiculous. That's almost insane that you've never used the word vehicle in a conversation before. It's embarrassing. My God, what a common word that people say. Yeah. Yep, thanks for the PayPal there. SBA. How is vehicle a weird word, people? I know, it's so strange. I mean, why? Let me ask you guys something. Why are you guys focusing on the word? You know why this happened? Because some idiotic YouTuber made a video and claimed that the word vehicle is so weird that a kid made. And instead of you just using your rational thought and really thinking about it, you believed what they said. And now you're repeating it over and over and over again. Like saying the word vehicle is somehow strange. It's crazy, you guys. Absolutely crazy. These people are nuts that you're watching. And I know that you watched it because that was a video that somebody made. Hey, thanks, Miss Bridge. I mean, how does it get repeated so many times? Everybody in the comments always says, well, who uses the word vehicle? Normal people, you know? No, you can't say that. You got to go, I go to the Department of Cars, Motor Cars. Because if you said the word vehicles at the end, you'd seem absolutely crazy, everybody. Right. Yeah, so I totally get it. Like, I understand how people might think that, you know, Twigs knew. I wouldn't shock me at all if Twigs knew somehow. And if somehow is able to, with no, you know, without any proof that he knew, is able to convince law enforcement of that. it could just be here's what my opinion is that Twigs knew that Tyler Robinson was going to the Charlie Kirk event. And maybe they thought that he went there to like kind of confront him like somebody would in the debate portion, asking questions. Something like that. And then all of a sudden he ends up being killed. And then I think Twigs was sort of like, man, I wonder if Tyler did that. And then Tyler comes on, starts communicating, and then he said he did it, and then Twigs was like, well, I thought they caught somebody who did it. Right? Because they were hoping, because at first they were probably wondering, God, did Tyler do this? I know he's going there. He hates this guy. And then once there was, I think he was suspicious of Tyler being the killer right off the bat. But then was like, okay, so you didn't do it. They arrested somebody else. And he goes, no, I did it. That was the wrong guy. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. People say that. I'm about to go rent a vehicle. I'm about to go rent a vehicle. Well, I don't know. Where does it say that? Where does it say I'm about to go rent a vehicle? I could be wrong, but she was the first I heard it from. Who? Candace Owens? Yeah, I'm sure she brought that up. I will laugh when TPSU sues Candace. Mm-hmm. I don't know what you guys are referring. What are you referring to about the vehicle? Yeah, renting a vehicle is weird. What do you mean? Who? Who's saying he's renting a vehicle? Is it in when he got pulled over? This is crazy in here. Mm-hmm. No, who doesn't say that? I mean, most people, if I would, but he didn't say that sentence. I'm going to go rent a vehicle, right? I mean, if he didn't when he got pulled over, I guess, but. You see how we just got completely sidetracked onto just absolute garbage here? He said car, and Candace, in his accident body cam video, he said car, and Candace said, look, he said car. Who says vehicle? However, he says vehicle moments later. I think he got that backwards. She said he said vehicle. He said car. I don't understand your second sentence there. Never say car or truck, I say vehicle. Oh my God, homicide detective daughter, you might want to check to see if you've been what you've been doing when you're sleepwalking. It's okay. I don't really care. I just came in here. I wanted to talk about the Chuck Taylors and then some of these messages that were on Discord, etc. But now we're on to something else. Beagle, because kids these days can't spell. I was agreeing with... Yeah, I know what you were doing. I know you're agreeing, I just didn't understand. Wait, which comment? Man, I don't know. I'm just so lost in here, you guys. This is nuts. Hey, you guys should get me some subscribers over at, let's see, right here. Go over here at Blazers Bros I'm gonna do like some Portland Trailblazer live streaming during the season here after I do this show. All right, but there it is right there. So go over to @BlazersBros. There's not like nobody's just started the damn thing. I think it's kind of a cool logo though. Yeah, so go check it out. Go get me some subscribers over there. You don't even have to watch it if you don't want to, but there you go. So where does he say? Isn't it like around the 5-minute mark or something?
License.
This is his. The other kid doesn't have ID.
Which way were you turning?
I was coming here, I'm turning left.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys, let's see if we can get a wave going here. We're struggling again. Thanks, hey.
Driver's license, registration, proof of insurance underneath. This here for you, this is just a witness statement.
Yeah, see, it's weird. When you look at him over here, see how he's kind of like this skinny person? And that's exactly what he looks like, though. It's just the camera's at a 45-degree angle up in the air. So imagine moving it up in the air, and then you get a look like this, you know. Here, hold on a second. See? That's what you get when it's 45-degree angle, because it shortens his body dramatically. You know, imagine if it was on top of his head. I mean, it would be even less, right? I mean, it's crazy. So that's what you get right there. And then later, when he starts walking up the stairs, that looks exactly how he looks, because now we're seeing him from straight on. And then this one here doesn't look like that, because this again is at a 45-degree angle, and he looks shorter. And then, you know, this one here, again, 45-degree angle, 45-degree angle, 45-degree angle. And you lose sort of the long, lanky, thin look because of the angle of the camera. But that doesn't mean anything to people. Why is somebody sending me this? How long will... Oh, I don't know. As long as I feel like it. I'm not sure why you're sending me that. A FOIA request. Form. Oh yeah. Anyways, I was going to bring this part up. So this will... See, this is what Zozo would like right here. This kind of stuff, right? So this is the other portion I was going to read from the Washington Post here. I had to get a subscription to get that. The 22-year-old suspect in Charlie Kirk's killing appears to have confessed to friends in an online chat shortly before turning himself into law enforcement. According to two people familiar with the chat and screenshots obtained by the Washington Post. Hey guys, I have bad news for you all, said a message from an account belonging to the suspect Tyler Robinson on the online platform Discord. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this. The Discord conversation shared with the Post shows members of the group chat reacting to Kirk's shooting Wednesday, before the news broke that Robinson was allegedly involved. The group included about 30 people, according to the person who provided screenshots. So I bet you they were always you know, trashing Kirk and probably even wanted to take him out and talked about stuff. And, you know, but you never, these people, I don't know. You know how there's people that just talk about stuff and you're never really expecting somebody to do it. So I think it could be like that. Like, you know, maybe Twigs, yeah, oh yeah, I want to go do this. And you never really expect somebody to actually do it. And then when it happened, you know, Twigs was probably, and some of these other people, so it was interesting that some of these comments that people would make online were things like, hey, watch out tomorrow in Orem, you know, things like that. Now, how did they, and then once it happened, they deleted the comment and said, oh my God, I didn't really think, you know, so it could have just been these big talks and everything, but nobody really thought something was going to happen. But you would think that maybe Tyler Robinson, somebody on Discord or somewhere, kind of worked through the, you know, his planning with somebody. You would think. I already said what the dry run was. Yeah, we already know the whole thing, Dale. We've gone over it 100 times. I've made videos on that. Right. I made an entire video just 2 days ago on the dry run and all that. For way more than... Yeah, well, Discord's used by online predators, too. I don't know. I guess the image I was thought I was referring to was something more like this, but that's just mainly twigs. But I have seen. Haven't you guys seen? There's like 1 or 2 images out there where they're together, just kind of sitting next to each other. I just I can't find it right this moment, but I feel like I've seen that. Yeah. One of them is wear a mask. The other is holding. Oh yeah, can you send me, if you find the picture, send it to me. I just want to make sure that, you know, we can see a sample of that. Yeah, Discord's used for online predators. Yeah. I did a whole story on that like a month ago or so, or not a month ago, about like 8 months ago. Yeah, I mean, stuff like that makes you wonder. The Shack lady. So I think they might find that there's a connection to somebody, but all I'm saying to everybody here is that Tyler Robinson is the shooter of Charlie Kirk, and he did exactly what law enforcement is showing. So don't give an out to these clowns out there that are saying that there's all these other shooters, and then once there is determined that there could be a conspiracy with the online people, we all say that that's a good possibility, okay? So don't give them an out. Call them out that they were the ones that said there was another shooter with the thing under his hand over here. There was a guy over there. There's a guy over there. There's a guy over there. There's a guy over there. All those different ones. The guy in the bush. The guy that shot did a little crazy under-the-arm shot between his fingers. Another guy over behind over here where the cop was. Behind. It's just sick. But hey, you guys, is there a reason we're doing the massive lull situation again tonight? I tried my best to have this be one of those smooth shows, but it's not one of those. All right. So, but I need your guys' support on here. We're not even close. We really poor membership gifting tonight. We are, let's see, where are we at here? Yeah, we're just 9 gifted memberships and just doing really terribly. So if you guys have the ability to help support the channel so we can keep on moving through the month, I'm trying the best I can. I can't do it. The live streams rely on you guys. That's it. If you don't like the shows, I can't help you. I mean, it just is what it is. All right. Yeah, and thanks, Nate Campbell. But how about other people other than the same people? Take some pressure off of some of them. So if you're somebody that's watching my show and you have the ability, my show, as I've explained 17 million times, I always hate having to keep asking over and over and over again. My channel's given out $265,000 in a 6-year period, and we have a scholarship fund, a DNA fund, we have all kinds of stuff that we fund, and the only way that happens is if you guys are supporting the channel. All right. Hey, thanks, DJ. There you go. Look at that. And Nate Campbell. And look at that. Lisa Belson again. Very kind. Thank you so much. Yeah, Lisa Belson is like, it's like, oh, she helps out a lot where we somehow are able to squeak by some nights with the generous support of a lot of you guys. There's a lot of people that don't support the channel very often at all or ever, but a lot of you do often. And, I know it's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but I don't want anybody who's like it affects your life to do it. All right. I'll tell you what, if we get 15 more channel memberships, then I'll donate 5 myself. Well, if we did 20 more and I just gifted 5, we'd have 50. That'd be cool. They are lying about Tyler Robinson. Candace, episode 244 is the picture you're looking for from Taylor and Twigs. Can you just send me the link so I don't have to go, stop the show, go to her page, and look for it? Anyway, thanks so much, Lisa Belson. Right there. And then also DJ and Nate Campbell and Dixie Hippie. Yeah, there's the email right there. Zozo always gets mad at me if I respond a certain way, but I sound exactly the same to every single person. It's like it is what it is. I mean, I don't know how else to respond when there's things like, I mean, I can see where we're going when we start talking about how there's no pictures of them together. There is, I can't remember the other element, but it's just, where do you go from there? Because that means that's all, so like, oh yeah, and then the message is fake, right? So then it's like, well, where do you go from there at that point? I don't know. I'm not sure what the next thing to say is. That's not my email there. That's not my email address. You gave it completely wrong. I don't even know what that means. I don't know who you are, the Shack Lady. Hey, thanks, Tamran127. And by the way, if I disagree with you, like, oh, that's crazy, man, that's just a conspiracy. I don't dislike you or anything, all right? I just absolutely disagree on some elements that people say. So just don't worry about it. That's the thing that just always, I just feel like I always have to walk on eggshells where I can't say exactly how I'm thinking, and you guys can say what you think. I just don't agree. It's still in there, your comments, and other people might agree, etc. With you, that's great. But when it's all said and done, I think you're going to see exactly what I've been saying the whole time, which seems to happen in virtually every single case that we cover. I get so much pushback, and everybody's saying this and 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 this. As if I hadn't thought through stuff. I would hope that you guys over time have sort of figured out that I really think about things and then kind of, can cross things off or not. There's no way for anybody to know if Twiggs knew that Tyler Robinson was going to kill somebody that day. However, it's possible, I guess, that they were all part of conversations like, wouldn't that be nice? And then they knew that Tyler Robinson was going there, but, would never think, oh my God, he actually did it? That kind of thing. Can you see that? Oh, yeah, that's right. The one with the mustache. Okay. I've seen that one. Thanks. I'll send this over to... you still out there, Zozo? She'll say no and then put one of the orange face, mad face. I know it. Here it comes. Or the straight-eyed... Yeah, right there. See? There they go. See right there? Right here. See that? Can you see it? Is that good enough, or is that a doctored AI image? This is Twiggs right here, and this is Tyler Robinson with the mustache. You see it? I knew it. I told you she'd say no. The only thing that she didn't do was put the steamy face, the red face, steamy, angry face. But what do you think of that image right there? There you go. What do you think of that image? Oh. Okay. It's a conspiracy, Zozo. I put that there on purpose so you couldn't make out Twiggs. There we go. All right. There's Twiggs. And there is Tyler Robinson. You got it? But I put that there intentionally. Hey, why is Gray? He must work for the feds. You notice how he's covering up Twiggs' face? No, I'm not. I'm imitating you being paranoid. Mariska. You completely misread that entire thing. Let's see, and this was publicly posted. Yeah. Well, what do you think, Zozo? We're waiting for your approval or your comment. What do you think? That's the one I remember seeing. I just didn't remember the details of it. But I saw it. I'm not sure where I even saw it originally. Might have been on Candace. Oh, you only believe it if there's two now. Oh, God. For God's sakes, man. You see what I have to deal with, you guys? Do you see? Now there has to be two. Ah, that's crazy. That is insane. Here, I'm going to open this up. Yeah, that's a little brighter, at least. See, you can see them. I'll only believe it if there's two of them. That is just... That's classic, though. That's classic. Lots of special forces on YouTube. I don't really give a damn. I gotta tell you. I think a lot of the special forces people are using the clout of being in special forces to sell a narrative that is totally, a conspiracy theory, because they know it'll absolutely sell And they keep using this 30-06. Oh, it definitely would do this. We already know that isn't true, okay? It isn't true that every single 30-06 shot does something else. Nobody even knows what type of bullet was. Nobody knows how, was the age of the rifle, did it influence the, was the right ammo used for that weapon, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's so many different things. The truth is, Tyler Robinson made the shot. The bullet did what it did. And that was likely an answer of why the bullet did what it did. And maybe there isn't an answer. Because sometimes you just don't know what the answer is. Like, I've seen bullets that hit gel that curve and do something else. Why did that happen? Should have gone right through. See, look at that. Zozo just, oh God. I think she goes out of her way to just ooh, needle gray, man. It's fun for her. Notice that? I mean, literally laughing with tears. Let's see. I hunt with a 30-06 and have since I was 14. Yeah. However, apparently there was one wearing tactical black here on the road. Yeah, you guys. What, I mean, are we still going to keep talking about like another shooter? Seriously, over and over and over again. It's crazy. It's like Looney Tunes. Anyways, go back to this one. Charlie Kirk got shot. One friend wrote Wednesday afternoon, according to so it's Charlie Kirk got shot. It said in Discord, and then I just saw the video. Another person wrote. Another user wrote about an hour and a half later, adding of Kirk, bro didn't deserve to go out like that. Sad. So are these people sort of covering their tracks, but they were totally aware, or are they people that they were talking about doing something to Charlie Kirk, but didn't think anybody was going to do something about it? And then the only response from Robinson's account came the next day with the message announcing, bad news. I'm surrendering through a sheriff's friend in a few moments. Said a message from an account on an online. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all this. Okay, so he must have said that like at the same time that he just said this one. I'm surrendering through a sheriff friend in a few moments. So he's admitting it right here. And his parents recognized him. So this is all a conspiracy? Like all of this stuff is just, made up? Yeah, send it to my email. What video, though? I'm not going to watch some other YouTuber's video to show on the show here because you thought it was interesting. Move on to what, Sandy? I'm not sure what you're referring to. And by the way, that one case with the guy like D4 vid or whatever? I mean, is there anywhere out there that there's a whole bunch of information where it's all put together? I just feel like it's just these little innuendo. Oh, look, they got the same... There isn't much to talk about, I keep looking at it like, God, is there ever a point where there's literally like a full show worth of information? Do you know Stephen Gardner? I think if the two of you did a show on a topic, it would be great. He was confirming today an autopsy. Oh my God, are we still doing that again? He was confirming today that an autopsy. Oh, Jesus. You guys, listen to me. I don't know what the hell's going on here. We had the mortician lady confirming an autopsy was done. Now we've got this other YouTuber who's piggybacking on the top of the mortician saying, yes, I've confirmed that there was an autopsy done. No shit, Sherlock, okay? Of course an autopsy was done. There is no chance in hell. The fact that anybody out there even suggested that there wasn't an autopsy. This isn't Tammy Daybell, who was found on her floor with, looked like a natural cause and then was cremated or buried or whatever the hell it was. It's not that. This is a guy who got shot, assassinated. There's no chance. I mean, this is so stupid, you guys. I mean, really, it's embarrassing that people are making videos on confirming an autopsy was done. Do you understand that? It's insane. It's, oh, by the way, you guys, I did confirm something today. Want to hear what I confirmed? That the Earth will likely be here tomorrow. I confirmed it. No, here's what I did confirm. You're not going to believe it, but this is what I did. What was the rumors out there about the Dairy Queen? Everybody keeps saying, hey, the Dairy Queen that he was seen in was torn down. And so I called the Dairy Queen corporate office, and I said, when I try to call that number, it has sort of a weird thing, but I'm just confirming because there's conspiracy theories out there. So the owner actually called me back later and said, no, we're open today. The one that shut down was the one in let's see, it was another city in Utah. I can't remember the name all of a sudden. Isn't that ridiculous, you guys? So this whole thing is garbage where people say that the Dairy Queen, where Tyler Robinson was seen, has been torn down and ripped down, is complete garbage. It's total bull crap that somebody else said. All right, and I wasn't even going to tell you about it until just now. I was like, oh yeah, because it's not really. I mean, obviously it wasn't torn down. And by the way, why would they tear it down? Because he was standing in there. Oh my God, Tyler Robinson was in there. Let's tear it down. It's crazy. Looney Tunes. Yeah, let's see. But why are people confirming that there was an autopsy done? All right, guys, let's see if we can get 13 more channel memberships. That's what our goal is right here. If we can get 13 more of those, then I'll donate 5 myself. Hey, by the way, I watched... what's the name of that? Hold on. The Exorcist the other day. That's crazy. By the way, it's apparently based on a true story. I'm sure the movie was a little different, but 1949. Yeah, it's crazy that people have literally made videos with hundreds of thousands of views to tell people, yes, everybody, I confirmed an autopsy was done. Yeah. Of course. I mean, who the hell thought there wasn't one done? I make videos that go through these factual elements with interesting stuff. I get 15,000 views. They put out a video confirming an autopsy was done in a case that, of course, one was done, and they get 300,000 views. I think that's sick. Okay, it just shows you how ridiculous people are. I know, but when are we going to get to know those kind of pieces of information, Zozo, in that case? It just, all it is just sort of, okay, we got these little factual, and then there's nowhere to go. There's nothing to, I keep looking at it to try to see if there's a way to have some, I do mapping and, put things together like that, and it just doesn't seem like there's anything like that in that David Rapper case. It's just kind of a... Erica refused to have an autopsy done. She can't refuse it, though. Erica has absolutely no say in what happens when somebody's assassinated or shot or anything where it's a homicide. She has no say ever in any way, shape, or form. That's absolutely obvious, and everybody in the world knows that. So it's strange to me that people actually believe that. And you know why they believe that? Because some YouTuber made a video that a ton of people watched, and then, because of that, when the people said, I confirmed an autopsy was done, all those hundreds of thousands of people went to go watch the confirming video because they're brain dead. They didn't realize that, of course, one was done. There's literally, absolutely no chance in hell that one wasn't. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen her kind of talking about it, but there's nothing to talk about, though. You know, it's just sort of like a few bullet points, and then you're kind of just, yeah, Nate Campbell. It's just, you know, like the one night that I was on her show, that's what she was supposed to be covering, but then she switched over to the Brian Koberger Costco videos, etc. I mean, maybe the body was so decomposed in there for so long that it just, they couldn't, you know, it was already, like, there's no odor anymore. Yeah, so if there's ever a point, like, if he gets arrested and then a probable cause document comes out, then there is where you can jump in and start filling in all the pieces of information. Maybe we'll do a show or something where we just go over everything that's known currently, and then you guys can jump in and say, oh yeah, what about this, and then we can at least have it all the basics down, and then if it becomes something else later, we can jump in there. All right, well, how do you know that the impound people smelled anything? Yeah, I mean, it sounds like she was in that trunk for a long time. I mean, are people really interested in that case? It just seems, I don't know, man. It doesn't really grab me. It's just kind of... So are we going to get going on the 13 channel membership so I can gift the 5? We got to get to the numbers so I can gift the 5 that I'm going to give out. We're frozen. We've had a massive lull again. Is not how you just described him. And the video was not the way. I brought it up because I thought that... what do you mean? How you describe him? I don't even know what you're saying, Mason Windu. I have no idea what you're saying on what my response was. I don't know what you're even talking about at this point. Okay, but what does it mean if the tow truck driver, is there a conspiracy that he didn't smell it? You know, maybe he just hooked it up and went walking some other direction and just didn't notice it. Don't know. Yeah, I don't even know what I responded to a minute ago, Mason Windu. I have no idea. I'd have to go back up and even read your comment again because I don't remember it. That's not how he presented it. Oh yeah, do you know, I think did a show on the topic would be great. He was confirming today an autopsy did occur. Well, yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, you said he confirmed that an autopsy did occur. I mean, so what's the point of doing that, I guess? I mean, you watched it, right? So that must have been a really exciting, new, breaking information that an autopsy was indeed done. I know, I just, that's what I don't get. I mean, you could have maybe led with some other element in that comment, then it would have been like, oh, cool, yeah, there you go. But that's, like, right there, it's just, wow. Shamo said, I'll donate 20 if Zozo actually donates 20. I bet you wouldn't, Shamo. I bet you wouldn't. Yeah, I never see what. Get out of here, Shamo. I know who you really are. Get the hell out of here. It was just part of his show. He had the mortician on. Oh god, the mortician. Jesus. Why would the mortician even need to be on there though? It's just ridiculous. Don't you understand? Alright, you guys, I don't have to say it again. We're on a massive lull. We just need 13 more channel memberships. Then I can donate the 5. Okay, there we go. There's 5 by Jennifer Ewing. And then we need 8 more now. Thanks, Jennifer. Very kind, very kind. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many times I'm going to say it, but that's cool and everything. I'm glad he's, like, trying to debunk stuff. That's just not something that needed to be debunked. All right? In my opinion. I just, when I heard that, people saying, oh, there was an autopsy, I just laughed and thought, oh, God, those people are idiots. I don't need to have it confirmed, you know. I was actually shocked that people were out there trying to make confirming videos. What the heck? Lisa Belson, come on. I was trying to, you know, maybe get other people, because you're always so generous, you know. Hey, look at, there's Dubious on Kick over there. What's going on? What's going on? Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate it. But hey, Mason Windu. What else does he say? Sounds like you know. Other than that, I don't think anybody needed to confirm that. But maybe he's somebody that debunks and puts out the factual information. That might be kind of cool. I don't know anything about it. I just was, you know, I just want to say the whole thing about verifying the autopsy is sort of a triggering thing for me. I just find that kind of stuff to be absolutely ludicrous, right? And, you know, he's just bringing on the guest who did verify it, so that's, you know, I guess that's kind of normal. Hey, thanks, Shamo, as in ShamWow. Oh, come on. So you did do that, but yeah, I guess you did. Hey, ShamWow. Now, here we go. I'm going to have to send it in anyways. But anyways, thanks for sending it in, but you were kind of rude to Zozo, so, you know. It's kind of a double-edged, you know, thanks for the super chat, whatever, but it looks like Mason Windu took off. I was just trying to ask more questions. Here's my 20. Yeah, but well, come on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, why did you pick her out specifically, Shamo? And, you know, you sort of seem like you're from a specific community that I'm aware of, because you're doing exactly the same thing that one of the people in that community has done before, and you know, you sound a lot like, you know, very similar, in fact, to somebody that was related to a child psychologist. They were doing the same damn thing in here. So that's kind of interesting. Let's see. Man, the theories I've seen are getting crazier and crazier. Well, they've got to, because they've already gone through the basic conspiracies. Now they've got to go through, you know, and start finding some new ones, you know, some fresh conspiracies. Yeah, I find myself cleaning the floor a little bit more now, because when, you know, now that it's winter time, we got to figure out what we're going to do with the dogs. You know, I think next year we can probably feel a little safer with them just all moving around in the living room and stuff, but like, you know, Benny and Clancy, there's still sort of, you know, a fear of marking something. But sometimes we leave like the back door open, and it has one of those little magnet mesh things that open up. So they kind of run out and then they run back in. But they can't get into the living room part. And it seems to be doing pretty good. Let's take a look at this one. Maybe we can just read this whole thing. This is the BBC. It's not that long. But this is more of the... the alleged killer of right-wing activist Charlie Kirk appeared to take responsibility for the shooting on the messaging platform. See, here's the thing. You read this, the conspiracy theorists don't care what these articles say. Because it's all a conspiracy. That way they can just ignore the really important factual elements. Like, it just doesn't matter to them. According to the spokesperson, Tyler Robinson, 22, messaged friends in a chat on Discord hours before he was arrested last week. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this. Reads a message from an account that allegedly belongs to Robinson. So they were probably always in there, hating on Charlie Kirk and other people. And he ends up being a killer, and it probably freaked everybody, I mean, I think it's possible it freaked the other people out. Like, they didn't really think somebody would do it. But you don't know. Maybe they had conversations and planned it out. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all this. Reads a message. Robinson, who has not yet been formally charged, is due to appear in court on Tuesday. So this is a while, this is from the 16th, so he has been since then. The Discord messages, which are said to be from Robinson, were first reported by the Washington Post and are thought to have been written and posted towards the end of a manhunt for Kirk's killer. So it's probably the same day that he got the gas down there. The spokesperson said, an internal investigation has found no evidence that the suspect planned this incident or promoted violence on Discord. On Tuesday, FBI Director Kash Patel told a congressional hearing that investigators would question members of the Discord group chat with Robinson. He said they would speak to anyone and everyone involved in that Discord chat. So, man, I wonder what's going on with that investigation right there. Okay, Shamo. But I don't know why you sort of focused in on, like, Zozo, and if she sends 20, you'll send 20. Like, where did you come from? She didn't, that's exactly the same thing that one of our literal online hater, stalker, troll dipshits was doing in here. Okay? So that's why it's a little bit like, all right? He said they would speak to anyone and everyone. Kirk 31 was speaking at a Utah... Yeah, we already know that. I'm surrendering through a sheriff friend in a few moments. Thanks for all the good times and laughs. You've all been so amazing. Thank you for everything. So that's interesting, right? Like, stuff like that. I'm surrendering through a sheriff friend in a few moments. Thanks for all the good times and laughs. You've all been so amazing. Thank you for everything. That's kind of similar writing, right, to the note. The messages back and forth. Cox has said Robinson was not cooperating with authorities, but his roommate was among those who were. Hey, thanks, Alan J. Very cool. Did you guys go out there and subscribe to the Blazer? It's called, here we go, let's see, Blazers Bros, like that. Were you able to find that? I think it looks kind of cool too. Yeah, let me see it. I know we don't have a lot of people here, but let me type it in. At Blazers Do we have anybody? I don't even know. Let's see. I'm not sure where it says. Oh yeah, I gotta go to studio. Ah, weird. Okay, hold on. I gotta go to switch account. Wait, I don't know if I can do that during the show. If I switch accounts, forget it. Hey, thanks, Shamo, again. What do you mean it didn't pop up? You gotta just type it in. It's right there. Shows right up. You go to YouTube and you type it in. See, look. Right here. See that? That looks pretty good. Blazers Bros. I think that looks kind of cool right there, don't you think? Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be the Portland Trailblazer. See if we can do it. Yeah, I thought that was kind of a cool logo. Now, you guys don't have to go to it or anything. I mean, you know, if you show up randomly sometime, that'd be cool. Another odd conspiracy theory highlighted was that Charlie Kirk went to Valhalla. Kash Patel stated, yeah, we saw that, see you in Valhalla. In a picture of Tyler in his room, his computer monitor shows Valhalla. Okay. What does that even mean? Maybe it's part of a video game he was playing. All right, we gotta do the picture again though, you guys. Every day, every single day. $7.29. Yeah, because you just hope you catch somebody else here. See, today somebody said that this person here doesn't look like this person. I mean, are you high or what? I mean, this is a slightly different angle, but you know, it's pretty obvious this is the same person. I mean, even the neck and everything, it's just, you see that? I think Valhalla, some Viking, you know, probably some place of honor of the souls of the, I don't know. Right. See that right there? Sham, wow, thank you. Look at that, 5 more memberships. Very cool. All right, so this is for the people who don't see it. If you can't see how similar these two pictures are, then you're stoned. All right, but people say, I don't see it, man. I don't see it. What do you mean you don't see it? See, those are people that are intentionally and willfully ignorant. Just like that. Those two are very similar. Jaw shape, everything, the ear, etc. Right? And you know, and this one is more like comparing the shoulders. This one over here would be good over there. Also, I mean, you could probably move it in and slide it over there. It would look pretty good. And then right there, I mean, that one looks absolutely similar. And these are literally pictures of Tyler Robinson when he was pulled over. So now, just looking at this, just overall, just kind of looking at this stuff right here, isn't it just obvious that Tyler Robinson is the same person in the surveillance footage, given the fact that later on they find his DNA on the trigger and he admits to being the shooter? Don't you see? Don't you see how that's why this case is so strong. Like if I was going to sit here and, just explain it. I mean, just forget the walking around on surveillance. Yeah, they have him walking on surveillance. However, they have the key is just right here. You see him cut across the grass. Then he goes in this tunnel here, and we've gone over it. There's a shot of him at the top of the tunnel. He goes in. He goes this direction. That is Tyler Robinson. And then he comes out right there. And this is all right around, like, he probably makes it to this area at, like, I'd say 11:55 or something. Comes out here. Then he moves down this way, limping. And then at 12:02, he's right here. And that camera can probably see him through the trees, even making his way up here. 12:02, and he's limping. Same guy. They know it's the same person. And it's Tyler Robinson already. Because, first of all, he admits to doing it. They didn't know who he was at the time he was doing this, though. When they had him on camera first, they didn't know what his name was. Then he goes into the door here. And then at 12:15, he goes up the stairs right there. Look. Makes it to the common area. This isn't even part of this building. It just connects this building to that building. So he's right there, and then he steps over this wall at 12:17, and he hides down here while he's assembling the rifle, gets up, runs all the way over here, and he lies down. Now, this is all on camera. Everything that I'm explaining to you right now. So I just want everybody to realize that this is all on camera. He's right here, and he gets up, and he runs. And everything, even coming up these stairs, is on camera. You'll see him limping across. Then he steps over. Then he gets up and runs, and there's no more limping anymore. And he lies down here. Maybe he lies there for 40 seconds or so. And then I would say right around 12, 23, and 22 seconds, he fires a bullet that hits Charlie Kirk in the neck, and then immediately on camera, you'll see him stand up. Now, we haven't seen that yet, but they described in the document, the probable cause, what they saw on video. Not, oh, well, this is what we think happened. They described it. In fact, even the second half is described. They said that he then ran across the roof. We've seen this part. And then he jumps down. But we're not entitled to see anything. Okay, they put that out there just, I think, to help identify him early on and just give the public some information. And then from here he runs across and he goes to the woods. And that is also on camera, him going into the woods. And because of that, originally an officer back over here, I believe, it might even be the one that was up on this deck right here, after the shot happened, looked up and saw the person running. Then they went back over there, went up here, and found the spot where the shooter actually shot from. Because of that, they then said, what camera covers that roof? Then they found the camera that's in this 360-degree camera right there. Then that camera filmed. They went and looked at it, and lo and behold, they see the person running across there. Then they worked backwards and looking for an individual that looked just like that person, and that's how they were able to track it back through the tunnel and then eventually back into the neighborhood, etc. But they see him go into the woods here, and then likely because they were already checking this camera out right here before, they continued to look at it knowing that the shooter would likely need to be coming back, and they see him running back behind here in this direction. And then because the shooter, Tyler Robinson, earlier had been walking this direction, I would assume that he went back up here. It's not like he parked over here and then he walked over here so then he could keep walking with a gun in his pants. So that means when he was leaving, when he was wearing the shorts, because in the woods over here, he left the rifle and wrapped in a black towel, and then he changed clothes into the maroon shirt. He might not have changed the pants. I don't know, but I think he did change into shorts as well. And then he comes this direction, makes his way over there, and he goes up here. Now, where the car was parked, don't know. It's somewhere up in here. That's where it was parked. And then they were able to determine that on the rifle that was found in the woods, his DNA was on the trigger. They also found a screwdriver on the roof, likely used to assemble the rifle, and that had his DNA on it as well. The rifle had DNA on it. Where's the hole in this case? All right, I'm taking, responses. People say that there's holes in it. What is it? What's the hole in the case? What is it? It's just crazy, man. And then we've got the... Let me see if I can find it. I'm gonna read that portion again. 16. There it is. Yeah, who cares if it's in the court documents, the shack lady? They mentioned it. It was out early on. That's probably something they didn't want to have out there. But now it's out there in public records. Man, you guys are just so paranoid. It's just crazy. It's just bizarre, man. We see this all the time in cases. So we're going to do the text message again. Exchange. But who cares, Gray? That's not real. Okay, well, we're going over it anyways because it is real. It's something that really happened. Can somebody explain to me that if they had this conversation before he was even caught, and they can prove it based on the timing, how is it not real? Because why would Tyler Robinson admit to doing something and then say, hey, delete these messages, you know? Why would he do that? Why would they come up with some other clever thing and it still doesn't implicate them, yeah? The twigs. Yeah. So here we go. It says on September 10th, 2025, the roommate received a text message from Robinson, so Twigs, which said, drop what you're doing. Look under your keyboard. I wish they would give times for this, but that's on the 10th, so he's still there. The roommate, I bet you this is, 5 or 6 in the evening, maybe. The roommate looked under the keyboard and found a note that stated, I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. See, that's these mixing tenses there. I had the opportunity, and I'm going to take it. It's more, you're supposed to say, I have the opportunity, or I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I did. Not, I'm going to take it. I mean, that's almost like prior. I mean, the way that's written is that he hasn't even killed Charlie Kirk yet. The roommate looked under the keyboard and found a note that stated, I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. See, that's interesting, right? Because that would be more sort of like what Zozo's saying, that at that point, he hasn't killed anybody yet. He said he's going to take it. But what is the opportunity? How did he get the opportunity? It's almost like he was presented an opportunity by somebody, and then he is going to take it, so he hasn't done it yet. So maybe that text message there is at like, when he's at the top of the stairs, you guys? Right here. This is interesting. This is kind of interesting, I got to be honest. I didn't think of this till just now. But we heard in the documents how he stopped at the top of these stairs. Let me see if I can find that really quick. And wouldn't that be interesting if it's at that time, 11:53, that he messaged Twigs and said, I had the opportunity and I'm going to take it. That means he hasn't done it yet. Do you guys agree with that? I mean, that's interesting because that would be before the shooting actually took place. Okay, right here. At approximately 11:50 hours, a UVU surveillance camera first captured suspect walking across a grassy area north of Campus Drive at approximately 800 West. Suspect walked south through the parking lot and approached a pedestrian tunnel that runs underneath Campus Drive. Before entering the tunnel, the suspect paused at the top of the stairs and pulled out what appeared to be a cell phone from his right pocket. I might have to make a video on this. Right pocket using his right hand at approximately 11:53 hours. And then you could maybe say that, he said, he typed in, "Drop what you're doing. Look under my keyboard." The roommate looked under the keyboard and found a note that stated, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it." You see? And then, after that, he puts it back in his pocket, and then at 12:02, the suspect is recorded walking on the north side of the Losi Center building. I mean, it's interesting that he mentions that. He said he wanted to keep it to himself. At this point, he's still able to get away, etc. But he still is letting his boyfriend know that. Like, hey, I'm going to do this. Hey, thanks, Shamo, again. But what do you guys think about what I just said? I don't know why, but for some reason I didn't realize that wording, or even pay attention to it. I didn't realize it. It sort of seemed like he was saying that, you know, well, here's the thing. He's mixing up tenses. So it's possible that the tense on that part is where the error is. So right here where it says, "Drop what you're doing, look under my keyboard." The roommate looked under the keyboard and found a note that stated, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I took it." The other option is, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk. I have the opportunity, and I'm going to take it." Right? So, you know, if you correct the tense in two different directions, it makes sense. But one of them means that he hadn't done it yet. And what's more likely to make that mistake? "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it." See, like putting the word "I'm going to," that's like extra work. So it feels like in that one, he's literally hasn't done it yet. "I have the opportunity." Let's just make it "I have, and I'm going to take it." So no matter how you change that side, it means that he hasn't done it yet. But if you change it to, "I have the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and and I took it." But see, "going to," that's extra work. So I mean, that really does seem like he's saying it because he hasn't done it yet. Right. I mean, that wording is totally... I don't know why. Did you guys... We've gone over this 100 times. I don't know why that's never occurred to me on that one. That's interesting. So that one is literally saying, hey, and I bet you that is exactly what was texted at the right here. Because that's so close to it that it wouldn't be enough time to really stop anything. If he'd sent it early in the morning, there would have been time for Twigs to, like, hey, you know, what's going on? I bet you that's right here. And this is literally 30 minutes before the shot took place. What do you guys think about that? I mean, it's crazy because he sat there for a while, too, texting. And then after reading the note, the roommate responded, "What? You're joking, right?" And look at, see, this ended. And I bet you that was why he was still standing there and he didn't respond. We don't know if he responded or not. This right here, I don't think is immediately after that. See, this is crazy, right? So this means he was letting Twigs know that he's going to take it. And then this makes sense now. See, this was never making sense to me, but now it does. Because now this is after the shooting, and this sentence makes sense. "I'm still okay, my love." See? Meaning, he's still okay after shooting Kirk. Because now we know that Twigs knew that he was going to shoot Charlie Kirk. Wow, that's crazy. Everything makes more sense now. You get what I'm saying? Like, I was always wondering, what do you mean I'm still okay? What the hell does that mean? You know, you would think, well, still okay, that means that Twiggs must have known that he was going to be doing something, right? But now I really think Twiggs knew that, based on that wording, that at least within 30 minutes, that Tyler Robinson was saying he's going to try to kill Charlie Kirk. And then after the shooting, he says, "I'm still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer." So there might be more conversations like, after the shooting, here it says, "What? You're joking, right?" But then it's kind of interesting where later it says, "Why?" Okay, let's just read this again. "I'm still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I'm going to grab my rifle still. To be honest, I have hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I'm sorry to involve you." I think it's like these guys probably play those adventure games, that are always sort of back in medieval times, and he's talking a little bit like that, You weren't the only one who... So right now the roommate says, "You weren't the only one who did it, right?" What does that mean? It's so weird. I'm seeing different things now. You weren't not the only. It says, "You weren't the one that did it, right?" Huh. So that does. So at that point it means, it doesn't say only. Sorry, I misread that. It says, "You weren't the one who did it, right?" So then up here, and it says, "I'm going to take it." And so that means he must know this is happening. So why would this come in where it says, "I'm still okay, my love"? So he just kind of glossed over. And then obviously Twiggs knew that Charlie Kirk was shot. "You weren't the one who did it, right?" "I am. I'm sorry. I thought they caught the person." So I see, this is interesting because, all right. So how it worked is she thought, this is just what I was telling you guys earlier. Twiggs thought that Tyler was likely, when the shooting happened, it was like, "Oh my God, that was probably Tyler. Oh my God." But then they arrested that other person. So then Twiggs is probably like, "Phew." And then Twiggs says, "You weren't the one who did it, right?" And then Robin said, "I am. I'm sorry." And then the roommate is like, "What do you mean? I thought they caught the person." "No, they grabbed some crazy old dude. They interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out. There's one vehicle lingering." Wow. I don't know, this actually makes more sense now. What do you guys think? I mean, I know this might be boring for some of you. I like to try to go through things multiple times because now it makes more sense to me. Why did I do it? And then this part was what I've always talked to you guys about. This is why I don't think that this is a fabricated exchange, because right here it says, the roommate says, "Why?" Why did you do this? And then right above it, see how it says, "No, they grabbed some crazy old dude. They interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering." And he just never could go get it. And then the roommate said, "Why?" But because Tyler had written all of this, Tyler didn't know what the "why" was referring to. So then said, "Why did I do it?" The roommate said, "Yeah." Robinson said, "I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I'm able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it." Yeah, so he's hoping that they haven't found it, and then he's going to go. But I think later on he found out that they did have it. Why did I see this right here? I think is proof. This little 3-sentence. Why did I do it? Yeah. I mean, why would, if you're planning something out, you're not going to put in a error like that. Like, oh, I don't even know what you're asking why about. You would know what the why was about because it's all script. It would have been something like, why? Oh, I had enough of his hatred. You would just type that in. You wouldn't need this part here. Why did I do it? Well, see, Gray, they were just trying to make it look... okay, so now we got this really amazing level of conspiracy. Hey, thank you, Brinnis Brat. Oh, my God. Mm-hmm. Oh, people want to talk about how his lips aren't full. These people are crazy. Oh man. Oh my God. Look at these crazy people. Yeah, don't bother sending me this kind of stuff, all right? The Shack lady. You're just really misinformed. I know this is probably your first big break, the case that you're just really into, but we've been doing this a long time, and you're just not going to be accurate. I can just tell you. People do exactly what you're doing. They send you the little overlays and the bull crap, and it's never true. It's never true. God, I feel fortunate that I've made it through this show without getting too frustrated. I was really frustrated earlier a bit. All right. But do you guys agree with me on this? That this portion right here is very good evidence that this is not... We've talked about this before, but there might be people watching that haven't seen it. Don't you agree that this segment right here is very good proof that this is a natural conversation? I mean, just logically thinking. Don't try to well, I don't know, Gray, because... Just look what I'm saying here. The sentence before is filled with various things, and then you're right here, and then the roommate says, why? And then he didn't know what the why was about because he had just typed in multiple things. And then, why did I do it? Yeah. See, I think that's like a really important detail that a lot of people overlook, is because if it was a planned text message, there wouldn't be a need to ask what the why meant. It just would have been this nicely flowed back and forth. Let's type it in. Ding, 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 ding. Right? And so I just wish people could actually understand what I'm saying, but oftentimes they don't. They just can't. It just doesn't, register or something. I don't know what the deal is, or it's just willful. Like, I don't know if it's not the word ignorance is right, but people just don't want to, willfully choose not to understand something. Yeah, it's kind of stupid, though. He was text messaging, right? When you say, Daniel, what do you think? What are you thinking there? When you go, what do you got? It might give justification. It sounds plausible. I don't know what you're saying, man. I definitely can see the point you're making. Yeah, well, I appreciate it. What I really just want you to see is exactly that. I'll say it one more time. Right here, Robinson says, roommate said, I thought they caught the other person. They grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned it, and then right now, if he'd said why, he'd say, why'd they catch the guy in other clothing? Why did they catch the other guy? But most of the other side, it got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to... And then why? And then he doesn't know what the hell you're talking about. Why did I do it? Yeah. Yeah, see, right there. It's just, to me, that's a huge thing. Thank you, Shamo, again. Sham, wow! He truly believed he would have left no evidence had he picked up his rifle. Well, he still left the screwdriver on there. And by the way, he was in sort of a tough situation because when he went back to get the rifle in the woods, he didn't have the screwdriver to take it back apart to easily put into his pants. So I think he was waiting for it to get dark out to go back and get it, but he just never had the chance. I think some of those messages right here are probably late in the evening. And then roommate said, how long have you been planning this? I mean, it's sort of an interesting thing there. That sort of is more into the, like, why is that even being asked? I mean, I guess it would be interesting to know. And by the way, there's probably a whole bunch of other conversations that we're not seeing in this. And it says a bit over a week, I believe. So the 10th, so a little bit over a week, maybe the 2nd. They were advertised the event on the 28th. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it. And basically what they put in this is everything related to the rifle is what we're reading. I am wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle. Because he thinks, oh my God, my dad will turn me in if I don't bring that back. I don't know. I don't even know if it had a serial number. It didn't. But it wouldn't trace to me. Well, it traced to your grandfather. I worry about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with. I might have abandoned it and hope they don't find prints. How the F will I explain losing it to my old man? Only thing I left was a rifle wrapped in a towel. I mean, it's interesting that he threw in, you know, this, so this is why people don't think it's legit. Things like, why'd you put, like, wrapped in a towel there? And then this whole thing, how long have you been planning it? Almost like, a, you know, an interrogation. Remember how I was engraving bullets? The effing messages are mostly a big meme. And then it's interesting that, like, that's put in there, right? Like, you're actually mentioning literal words that are on there. Notices bulge UW on Fox News. I might have a stroke. All right. If he sees that on Fox News, he might have a stroke. So that's what people... Hey, what's going on, Shamo? Man, you don't have to... I appreciate you sending it in, but you don't really... You know, thank you already. Only the complete nutters and pro burgers would think otherwise. Gonna stop typing without keyboard. Judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's gun does just fine. I mean, that's a ridiculous... That thing right there, that shows he doesn't give a damn. That one pisses me off. Wow, Grandpa's gun worked great today. And then he wanted it deleted. He's talking about his dad's diehard MAGA. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, some of it's... The part that's weird is just like how much information he's giving out and how it matches stuff in the probable cause. But I think he was just sort of alone out there. And I think there's a lot more texting that was going on. But I'm going to say right now, I think that this text message right here, drop what you're doing, look under my keyboard, and I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. So that means he hasn't done it yet. And I think it's very possible that it's right here at 11:53 when they mention he's at the top of these stairs and he sent a text message. I bet you he doesn't send out any more between this time and the shooting. And he wouldn't want to say it too early because then he'd be nervous that, you know, maybe Twiggs would say something. But this is 30 minutes. And then after he killed Charlie Kirk and Twiggs heard about it, he probably was like, oh my God, Tyler did this. He said he was going to do this. But then they arrested somebody else, and then they were like, phew, he didn't do it. They got somebody else. And he goes, no, I did do it. They arrested the wrong person. Then that was like, oh, Jesus, you know. It's, hey, listen, Techno Stacy, I know you need it to be a something else, but it's not going to turn out that way. That way you can work with the conspiracies and everything. Tell me, so a lot of people say it's a fake exchange and it's still between Tyler and Twigs, but it was to protect Twigs. How does it do that? I don't really understand. What was the purpose of this before he was even caught? Doesn't make any sense. He's still around looking for a way to get the rifle. Why not do all this after he leaves, knowing he doesn't have the rifle? It's weird. See him old. It means me and my father are close together, so I can relate. Man, you guys are so quiet. I just think that's what he was saying. That he said, "I'm going to take it." The fact that he wrote in, "I'm going to take it," means that he hasn't done it yet. Because that's too much of a change the other direction. Like I was saying before, I had the opportunity, even if it says, "I have the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I'm going to take it." That's what it should say, "have." But there's too much change that you have to make if you say, "I have the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I took it." But this says, "I'm going to take it." That's like a lot of, that's really means that he hasn't done it yet. I don't know why I didn't think of that before, but that's definitely, I think that's very likely. That's him saying to Twigs that I'm going to take it, and and letting Twigs know before the shooting. And that's why I think it was at 12:53 at the top of those stairs, because that's 30 minutes before the shooting itself. And then after the shooting, Twigs probably thought, "Oh my God, he did it." But then they arrested that other person, and then they were like, "Well, you didn't do it. They arrested the other guy, right?" And he goes, "No, it was me. They arrested the wrong person." And they went through all the rest of the information. Yeah, but "going to" is something he would have said or typed. See, that's what I'm saying. "Going to" is fixed. I don't think you can edit that out. Do you guys agree with that? I mean, the fact that the word "going to" is there, it's hard to say that that's an error in tense. Because that's literally a word that was said, and that would be a natural thought that you would say to somebody before doing something. That isn't like an error, because even if it says, "I have the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I'm going to take it," or had is just not the right way to say it, but it still says, "I'm going to," meaning in the future, going to take it. Yeah, what other suspects? Do you have the names? I mean, I think maybe they're part of the Discord and stuff like that. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, I just said it, Harry. I just read it. I've read it 4 times already. There's an annotation that the roommate looked under the keyboard and there was the I know, we've already said that 50 times. He said, "Drop what you're doing and look under your keyboard." That's probably at 10:53. The roommate looked under the keyboard and found a note that stated, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it." Now, when did they look at it? See, he might have sent the message at 11:53, and then they didn't look under the keyboard till like 12:15, and then all of a sudden there's a shot, and then, oh, wow. And then there must have been other conversation between that like, what's going on? I mean, are you okay? Or whatever, right? But because Robinson says, I'm still okay, my love. I mean, but see, that could just be the natural thing that you would say after you told somebody, hey, I'm going to do this. And then after everybody finds out that Charlie Kirk was shot, he would say, I'm still okay, my love, because he knew that Twiggs would be worried at that point because there was a shooting there. And he's saying, I'm still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer. And I've already said that I think that Twiggs knew that he was going to Orem already to the Charlie Kirk event. That's why he's saying, I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. All right. There can definitely be additional conversation. I think there's, without a doubt, there's other info in there. Every single text in here is about the rifle. And they're showing you how he's talking about the rifle, and then how they found the rifle in the woods that was wrapped in a black towel, exactly the same as Tyler Robinson, who's on the roof running around wearing Chuck Taylors, where a footprint was left on the roof, which matches Chuck Taylor's. Then he jumps off, and he goes into the woods, and he leaves the rifle and the towel there. They may have taken maybe he took a picture, Twiggs did, of the message that was underneath the keyboard. Man, you guys are so quiet tonight. It's like nobody's typing. Okay, I'm going to do just this part one more time for everybody. I mean, probably won't be the last time, but I mean, just tonight, just so you can just listen to it again. This part, and then I'll read the same thing that was in the charging document. They're a little slightly different. So right here, this is the part I was just talking about. The suspect paused at the top of the stairs going into the tunnel and pulled out what appeared to be a cell phone from his right pocket using his right hand at approximately 11:53. This is all on camera. All right, this is actually in this video, that this images, he stood right there first and was on his cell phone. The suspect eventually put what appeared to be a cell phone back in his right pant pocket using his right hand. Surveillance captured the suspect making his way towards the Losi Center. That's because he made his way through the tunnel, which is represented in this shot right here, as well as, so he goes down a long hallway, takes a right, and then a quick right again, then goes up these stairs, then goes up, he's still going up those stairs, and makes his way out, and then he makes his way towards the Losi Center. At approximately 12:02 hours, the suspect was recorded walking on the north side of the Losi Center building, walking with the same gait, basically the limp, as observed earlier. The suspect entered the Losi Center building, this is all on camera, through a set of doors on the southeast corner of the Losi Center building. And then at 12:15, the suspect was observed walking up the stairs. See? So they actually have him on video walking up the stairs that lead, so that might be a camera that's actually outside or something, that lead to the common area adjacent to the Losi Center building. And it could even be the 360-degree camera that's noticing the dark figure making its way up the stairs. The suspect walked to a short concrete wall that appears to be to separate the common area from the rooftop of the Losi Center building. At 12:17 hours, the suspect climbed over the short wall. See, and that's why I think that that area that's right here, comes up the stairs and then walks over here, and this is a fence, so a wall would be this one. And then it even says he goes to the north side of the wall. So if you make this north-south oriented, well, yes, that's the north side of the wall. The south will be over here. This isn't even a wall. So it really makes it sound like that he's right there, and he's crouched down, and he's reassembling putting the rifle together. The suspect climbed over the short wall and appeared to crouch down on the north side of the wall on the rooftop. At 12:22 hours, the suspect stood up, started running across the rooftop of the Losi Center building. Now, that notable limp from previous surveillance was absent now. The suspect ran to the west side of the rooftop and appeared to scoot along the rooftop area as he got closer to the edge of the rooftop. At approximately 12:22 hours, the suspect laid down in a position consistent with a prone shooting position near the edge of the rooftop and appeared to be facing west. So what they're saying is at 12:22 he ran like this with no more limp, and then was kind of low crawling, got kind of low, and then scooted over to here and then laid down. All right, so he's right in that position. Just like that. And then at approximately 12:23 hours, Charlie Kirk was shot. I think it's 12:23:20-ish. At approximately 12:23 hours, the surveillance shows that the suspect stood up suddenly from the edge of the rooftop and sprinted north on the rooftop of the Losi Center building. The suspect ran to the northeast corner of the Losi building and approached the edge of the rooftop. The suspect placed a dark-colored item, which is the gun, on the rooftop and proceeded to lower himself off the rooftop. The suspect dropped off the rooftop onto the grass below. The suspect ran north near the parking lot of the east of the Losi Center. At approximately 12:24 hours, the suspect ran north across the Campus Drive Road. The suspect appeared to be carrying an item whose identity is not clear from the surveillance. And that's, they didn't call it a rifle, but yeah, it's an elongated item wrapped in a black towel. The area to the north of Campus Drive Road where suspect crossed over consists of grassy area, blah, 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 blah. But right here it said, investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark-colored towel in that wooded area. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscription that had been engraved on the casing found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices bulge, OWO." What's this? Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, catch," and then etc. The Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao. And another one said, "If you're reading this, you're gay, LMAO." All right, and so that's exactly what he mentioned in the text message, saying, boy, if it says that, notices bulge, UWU, what is this? He'll, freak out. And there it was. So that's that version. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh yeah, so they also discovered a shoe impression on the northeast corner of the rooftop edge of the Losi Center building. The shoe impression was located in the vicinity where a suspect climbed down from the rooftop. The shoe impression is consistent with the shoe sole characteristics of a Converse Chuck Taylor shoe. On the evening of September 11, 2025, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. The information was relayed to the Utah Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at UVU. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger. So what's weird about it, like at 8:26 we see him in that, or 23 we see him in that surveillance footage. So that means after that he's seen on campus driving around. And so it said, and then it said, in which he was observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th, early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing. And so guess what? That means he was driving home, and right when he got home, I see. So, no, that was on the 11th when he was driving home, but he's still wearing the same clothes for a couple days, it sounds like. Investigators interviewed family members of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. Yeah, so we have that one, and then... Thanks, Nate Campbell. Yeah, massive lull going on. Massive lull. Anytime you try to read something, the excitement level drops off. All right, let's see. So let's see what the difference is on this one. Yeah, so at the moment of the shot, a UVU police officer was watching the crowd from an elevated vantage point. I bet you that's the person behind. That's exactly right. The guy behind Charlie Kirk was watching the crowd, and they were at an elevated position, and they could see perfectly up there had they been looking up there, but they weren't. They were looking at the 3,000 people in the crowd. So he was watching the crowd from an elevated vantage point. As soon as he heard the shot, he began to scan the area for threats. Believing the shot came from a rifle because of its sound, he looked for potential sniper positions. He noted a roof area approximately 160 yards away from Kirk. The suspected shooting position is adjacent to the open, publicly accessible walkway. Police reviewed surveillance from the camera covering that roof and discovered that it recorded an individual dressed in dark clothing cross the railing from the public walkway and drop onto the roof at 12:15. Although the individual moved out of camera view for a short time, the camera again captured the individual running across the roof and then low crawling to the area the UVU officers recognized as where the suspected sniper had dropped into a prone shooting position. After a short time, which matches the known time of the shot, the individual arose and ran across the roof to the northeast. This discovery led to an intensive review of the UVU surveillance recordings to attempt to track the identity of the suspect. Surveillance revealed the following. At 11:51, this is the same at the tunnel. This is actually when he just passes the second house, in the TMZ footage, and then turns right to go over that little bridge. At approximately 11:51 a.m., the suspect entered the campus from the north. He is seen wearing a black shirt with an American flag in its center, a dark baseball cap, and large sunglasses. Throughout the surveillance, the suspect keeps his head down and rarely raises his head enough to get a clear image of his face. As he proceeds across the campus, he is seen walking with an unusual gait. The suspect walks with very little bending in his right leg, consistent with a rifle being hidden in his pants. The unusual gait continues until the suspect is seen crossing the railing off the open walkway onto the roof, where he leaves the camera's view. A camera later captures the suspect as he runs across the roof to the suspected shooting position. Immediately after the shot was fired, a camera captures the suspect running across the roof carrying an item whose shape is consistent with a rifle. The suspect is then seen climbing down from the roof. He appears to drop the item, which this part isn't accurate, he was carrying as he hits the ground in a controlled fall. He then picks up the item and runs towards the northeast end of campus. That's actually a pair of glasses. Why is changing his outfit strange? He did it to hide who he was, because he's been seen on camera. Jesus. So law enforcement followed the suspect's escape path to the northeast end of the campus, where they believe the suspect left campus and entered a wooded area. They can see it, him doing that. In that wooded area, investigators found a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a towel. The rifle contained 1 spent round and 3 unspent rounds. This is consistent with the facts officers observed at the time of immediately after the shooting. No shell casings were found on the roof, suggesting a bolt action rather than an auto-loading weapon, and only a single round was fired. And then, remember, we got all these messages that are on the bullet, and then we have the whole text message exchange, etc. Robinson's father, let's see, Robinson's mother explained that over the last, see, this is all stuff that happened, despite what, Candace Owens, the nut job, believes. Look at it says Robinson's mother stated. That means this is something that it was recorded to police on September 11th, 2025, the day after the shooting. Robinson's mother saw the photo of the shooter in the news. I know that all of you conspiracy nutters can recognize Tyler Robinson better than the mother, but she does say the day after the shooting, Robinson's mother saw the photo of the shooter in the news and thought the shooter looked like her son. Robinson's mother called her son and asked him where he was. He said he was at home sick and that he had also been at home sick on September 10th. Robinson's mother expressed concern to her husband that the suspected shooter looked like Robinson. Robinson's father agreed. This is all real stuff right here. Robinson's mother explained that over the last year or so, Robinson had become more political and had started to lean more to the left, becoming more pro-gay and trans rights oriented. She stated that Robinson began to date his roommate, so they knew that, a biological male who was transitioning genders. This resulted in several discussions with family members, but especially between Robinson and his father, who have very different political views. In one conversation before the shooting, Robinson mentioned that Charlie Kirk would be holding an event in UVU, which Robinson said was a stupid venue for the event. Wonder why he said that. Like, it's such an easy target or something. For the event, Robinson accused Kirk of spreading hate. Robinson's father reported that when his wife showed him the surveillance image of the suspected shooter in the news, he agreed that it looked like their son. See, this is all stuff that law enforcement asked, and they answered these things. He also believed that the rifle that police suspected the shooter used matched a rifle that was given to his son as a gift. As a result, Robinson's father contacted the son and asked him to send a photo of the rifle. Robinson did not respond. However, Robinson's father spoke on the phone with Robinson. Robinson implied that he planned to take his own life. Robinson's parents were able to convince him to meet at their home. As they discussed the situation, Robinson implied that he was the shooter and stated that he couldn't go to jail and just wanted to end it. When asked why he did it, Robinson explained, "There's too much evil and the guy, Charlie Kirk, spreads too much hate." They talked about Robinson turning himself in and convinced Robinson to speak with family friends, who is a retired deputy. So this is all crap, you guys. Like, for the conspiracy people out there, this is all just made up information. Every bit of it. Yeah, Nate Robinson's trying for an attempt. It's falling on deaf ears. But thanks everybody for being, the generosity tonight on the channel. Appreciate it. Let's see. Police interviewed Robinson's roommate, a biological male who was involved in a romantic relationship. The roommate told police that the roommate received messages from Robinson about the shooting and provided those messages to police. On September... Okay, these are the messages. Anyways, I don't know how people are saying... how about this, you guys? What are the holes in the case? I got another 15 minutes here. What are the holes in the case? I mean, I keep seeing that. Maybe we can go over some of the comments under my video earlier. Let's see. I mean, they're just mind-boggling. That's why it's so frustrating daily. No, that's there isn't something off. It's possible, but you're saying there's something off. You don't know if there is or not. That's just your opinion. All right. So anyways, we see all these in here, and it says, "Do you know when the police made it public that the rifle was collected?" No. I think it was the first night, though. Well, wasn't it like the first night where they were saying they found a rifle? He'll never be convicted. A 30-06 always act like... Okay. Bullshit. See, these people are crazy. So it took the police 30 minutes to find a ladder to get on the roof? Just kidding. Still thinking about Butler. Yeah. At the gas station, did he use a credit card that the police can use to verify who's there? Yep. Look like it. One 1113. I like how you talk in these videos when you're explaining things. Well, thanks. I think you're totally missing the point. It can't be Tyler because the police said he was on the roof at the time. Right. The point is to question the police narrative. Right, yeah. Right. I know, fool. I know, fool. How am I gonna put it? Right, I know. But they have him on video and track him to the roof, and the guy is not Tyler, as he almost has a mullet. I mean, these people are crazy. They don't even look at like, yeah, you're right. You completely debunked that that's him. Just idiots. Anyways, about how high was the building he jumped off from? I'd say 20 feet. Or he was about 10 feet when he jumped, though. Maybe, well, it's probably like 18 feet or so, 16. Please do not show on the greatest conspiracy since mankind. Please do show on... I don't even know what that means. I know I did say since mankind. I meant to say the beginning. Thank you again, Gray, for the factual, sane reporting. It's really clear that somebody walked all over the place. There's no position identification of Tyler Robinson as the person walking to and from the scene. Well, see, that's where you're wrong. See, they've tracked him back and forth, and his DNA was found on the trigger. I know, it's weird. See, people are so anti-cop and FBI that they're willing to sell their souls to pretend it's a conspiracy. He was framed. Jesus. Bullshit. I live in Beaver, Utah, and this looks like Cedar City to me. It is, as I said in the video. The dude in the black shirt doesn't look like Tyler Robinson. Yes, to conspiracy nutters, it can't look like him. Willful ignorance isn't a good look. You're good. Hey, one positive one. I'm so impressed by your content. I was just clickbaited by Fox Network and got a picture with a don't enter sign on the roof and a bunch of overdressed, tight clothes reporters. Claiming you are not a conspiracy theorist is not a badge of honor. It just means you're a person that believes everything the government tells you. No, fool. What it means is I go with the facts that are presented and verify those facts with other information like videos, etc. until something doesn't line up, I go with the information provided by officials, where you believe every Tom, Dick, and Harry dumbass conspiracy nutter YouTuber. Be better. Alright, there you go. Got that in there. Never seen a stronger case. Do you have the autopsy and forensics? Weak case at best. Well, that just means you have no idea what you are talking about. See how these ridiculous comments? This is why I come in here sort of stressed out. One would think to not wear the hat and yeah, blah, blah, blah. You can't reason with foolish people. Thanks, Gray, for being wise. Unfortunately, I'm beginning to think we are quickly becoming the minority. But you know what the Bible says about the path which leads to destruction compared to the path leading to redemption. God bless you, my friend. Well, thank you. See, there you go. I totally agree. The people putting out the factual information are being cast aside by the cesspool of idiotic, conspiracy-loving dipshits that are on social media. That's not cool, Gray. Oh, screw you. Okay, you're an embarrassment. Anyways, it's so refreshing to see what you've done, the work, that you've done the work to help bring the truth and dispel the wild conspiracies. After all, this is a death penalty trial for murder. There's a lot of evidence that is not going to be released until the trial. Why are drones not used? I don't know. Who cares? It's sad to think that just one security person with a walkie-talkie at the... Right. Sure, could have called it in. And 100% they don't have him taking the shot. And I said, well, the video they have of him taking the shot will be him running to the shooting position, lying down, and then standing up exactly after the gunshot and running off the roof. So they do have him taking the shot. It's not a close-up, though. Thank you for sharing the truth. You're the best. Anyways, I don't know. Just screw it. I'm tired. Yeah, the whole drone, I don't care what would have helped and what would have... Everybody, Monday morning quarterbacking, sure, things would have helped. It doesn't matter right now. I'm sure changes will be made, etc., etc. He shouldn't have to worry about crap. Oh, look at that. Fox News is playing that guy. Remember the guy we used to watch all the time? He's hilarious, man. Let me see if I can find that guy. I'll play him at the end here. We used to watch him during the election. He imitates Trump. Yeah, this guy right here.
Mi fellow Americanos y bienvenidos al cierre de Schumer. That means welcome to the Schumer shutdown. We call it the Schumer siesta, right? It's the Schumer siesta. He put the government on siesta.
This guy does. I think he's the single best Trump imitator with the voice. I mean, it's crazy.
Yes, the crying Chuck and El Hakimo Hefe Jeffries. We used to call him Dollar Store Obama till we realized he's worth far less than $1. But they put the government on siesta to give illegal aliens your health care. We're not going to let it happen. I looked at both of them. I said, we're not going to let it happen. It's no bueno. I said, it's no bueno. They begged me. They said, but senor, por favor, please give illegal aliens the health care. I said, we're not going to do it. We're never going to do it. It's not going to happen. And they're also very upset about our big, beautiful sombreros. You look at them. These are the greatest sombreros the world has ever seen. We really have the best sombreros, and everybody wants one except Crying Chuck and El Hakimo Hefe Jeffries. They don't want one, but they're going to wear one when all is said and done. We're going to end the siesta. We're going to reopen the government. And we will not give in to the demands of Chuck and El Jefe. We're not going to do that. Thank you. God bless you. Dio lo bendiga. And God bless America. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Trump actually retweeted this guy. Can you believe that? He met him too. I remember that before the. That was pretty good. Now let's see what this one says.
There's old footage of Tyler Robinson that is now circulating from a car accident that he had. And during the discussion with the officer that showed up, Tyler certainly refers to it as his car, not his vehicle, because that's how most Americans,
See, this is what I'm saying. A lot of losers believe everything Candace says. You know, oh my God, look at that. See? Because people don't say vehicle, so therefore...
English speakers refer to a car unless they're in the military or on the police force. So here is 2022 police body cam footage, in case you missed that, of Tyler making a crash report. Take a listen.
Your mom's on her way?
Yeah, she's gonna be a minute. She's got to shuttle over from where she's at to her car.
Who says shuttle over? You guys, I mean... Who the hell says shuttle over? I mean, that's a bigger conspiracy. Who the hell, what kid says shuttle? Don't you just realize that Tyler Robinson says different, he uses different words. Who the hell says shuttle over at that age? Whoa, that is huge.
And then drive over.
Gotcha.
What?
His mother was going to shuttle over from her car? Interesting.
Well, but how about shuttle over, Candace? You kind of glossed right over that. What kid says shuttle over? Why wouldn't normal people say drive, Candace? Boy, you're so observant. I mean, one of your little staff members sent you that too. Here's the thing. She doesn't look up anything. All right? She just has all of her conspiracy nutter producers come up with these things, and then she blabs them out.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was looking up at the light just before getting there.
Okay.
Saw it shift yellow, and as I get into the intersection, the bolts, there was a vehicle in the lane.
Is that something that you say? I'm just going to go outside to my vehicle.
See, they're editing at this. He said there was a vehicle. Look at it.
Go outside to my vehicle. I left.
And as I get into the intersection, the bolts, there was a vehicle in the lane.
Is that something
There was a vehicle in the lane. Oh, whoa.
that you say? I'm just going to go outside to my vehicle. I left something in my vehicle. Apparently, they...
Isn't that just think for a second, you guys. Here's what's sick, is the fact that she's saying this right here got tens of thousands of people to come into every freaking video and bring that same point up over and over again. I think saying the word shuttled over is much weirder, but there he is saying it. I mean, he literally says that too. But like he does say vehicle, right?
They just shoot the breeze with one another, and they say vehicle and retrieve. And if you don't believe me, then good. You shouldn't believe that. You shouldn't believe me when I say that.
Right, we don't believe
And
you.
Nick was particularly asking him to determine who owned a white vehicle, and everyone locally had looked at this vehicle and said, I can help you. Just
How come you use the word vehicle a whole bunch of times?
figure out more about...
Jeez. She's what a liar. My God, you guys. Quit being suckered in by Candace Owens, all right? Unreal. Embarrassing. God. What do you think is weirder, to say my mom shuttled over or she drove her own vehicle or something like that? Yeah, anyways, thank you up there to Jessica Schubach, Richard Watts, Richard Watts, new member, then Bill Lossman, gifted a membership, then Mindful, then Joel Burnt, then Raven187, then Tamran, then we had Kami, then we had Michelle H. Then SBA, new members. Then we have Nate Campbell. Then Alley Cake, Wild Bill Wassman. Then we have Alan Olson. Then we have Linda Howe, as in Linda Molden Howe of the Cattle Mutilations and Crop Circles. I gotta go get some rest. I'm stressed out. Can you just tell? Like, look at the comments under my videos. It sucks. Probably shouldn't even look at them. Thanks, Sandy. But it's so depressing that there's so many ignorant, naive people that are following this case. It's hard to even make a dent, you know. Sandy Shirley, thank you. Then we have Robinski, and then Nate Campbell gifted another one. Wild Bill Wassman did 5. Then we had Dixie Hippie, then Megsy, then Anakin. Gray Conver. Yeah, I've seen that one. I may actually have it in the folder, and I've shown it recently. I just forgot to put it out there. Then Megsy. Then we have Miss Bridge with a... That's so weird. That's a cat eye donation, right? That didn't even show up as one, though. Interesting. Thanks, Miss Bridge. I think it did at the time. And thanks, Nate Campbell. And then we've got Nate Campbell gifted a membership. Then DJ gifted 5. Then Lisa Belson gifted 10. Then Dixie Hippie gifted 1. Then Megsy. Then Tamran 127. And then William Colson. And then Mace in Windu. And then, let's see, then we had Jennifer Ewing gifted 5. Then Lisa Belson gifted 10. Then Shamo. And then I gifted 5 because of you guys. Then Alan J. Shamo. And then Shamo gifted 5. And then Bill Clark. And then Shamo again. And Shamo. Then Bernice Bratt. And then Shamo again. Wow. Thanks, Shamo. Oh, and then another time. Then Shamo again. And then Nate Campbell gifted 1. And then Nate Campbell super chat. And then Lisa Valenzuela. And then Techno Stacy. Right at the buzzer there. Thank you. Oh, man. You guys, this got really stressful. You know? I think we kind of... I thought those messages made more sense, though, now. I think... I don't know if you were here, Zozo, but it sounds like that first message is definitely admitting that he's telling Twigs that he's about to go kill Charlie Kirk. And then, because of that, you know, Twigs might have thought he was involved, but then when somebody else was arrested, they felt better about it. But then he says, no, that was me. That was the wrong person. So anyways, I thought it was kind of interesting. Yeah, it's just weird when you read 400 comments and 220 of them are just absolutely, you know, parroting Candace Owens daily. She gets 5 million, you know, views. I get, you know, she gets 180,000 people watching, and I get 250 people. You know, not 250,000. Anyways, I thought it was pretty interesting in here. Sorry I got frustrated early, but yeah, I was trying to just go over, you know, talking about the Converse shoe, how he seems to have it in all the different pictures, and they got an imprint. So we're going to say that the person, the other shooter, was wearing Chuck Taylor's as well. Crazy. All right, everybody. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you all very much for your generosity and keeping us moving forward here. Got to try to have another good month so we can build it up. We've already got the new scholarship fund. I think Zozo's been reviewing the videos. There's been more, I guess, applications recently. So, hey, thanks, Richard Brinton. I don't know if anybody wants to maybe help review some of the video applications out there. You can, let me know. Like one of the probably a moderator would be good. I don't know if she's able to keep. I mean, it's not as many. Once there's videos, they're not as hard. The long written ones were difficult. Yeah, thanks, Richard Brinton, right there. Boom. At the buzzer. Anyways, thanks so much, everybody. We will see you guys tomorrow. And, as I always say... Oh, yeah, and we also have Lisa Valenzuela with the coffee. I don't want to forget anybody that might have been over here. And then we had a PayPal from... Sharon. All right, so there you go. So thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, projector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya, wanna set ya. Easy time, play like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. My first degree is gonna give another lecture. Connector, and I'm always gonna be a protector. Deflector, interceptor. And I mean a little spectre with a vector. Inspector, with all respect, gentlemen, have a I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. I'll tell you what, if Zozo
so I'll just
says
right back to work. All right, everybody.
that she needs help reviewing them, then we'll get somebody else. I just wasn't sure if she, she did say she was looking at them and everything. I just, sometimes it might, and plus she would look at them anyways, right? Because they all, even when Plato was around and she would review them, they'd both review the same ones, and then they both would choose, they'd each get to pick one that they would pick, and then the third one, I guess, was, a favorite between the two of them or something. So anyways, there's 3 scholarships that are given out, 3 $2,000 scholarships for criminal justice, and we've already done that twice so far. So we've got 12,000's already been paid out, and then we got another 6 that's already been completely funded that just needs to pick the winners, and then we've already got 1,000 in on the next round. So we've got 19,000 total into the scholarships. Pretty amazing, right, you guys? I mean, you got to admit, like, that's, this is what, wouldn't that be cool if all the true crime channels were doing the same thing? Now, if you wanted someone to help pick the winners. All right, well, maybe KK up there said she would. We could have 2 blonde people. 2 of you guys, you kind of look like your sisters. All right. So I'll have to figure out. Put your email in on Facebook, KK. I'll send it over there. I'll send you an invite or whatever the hell it's called. Oh, you want to do it also, Lisa? Oh, 3 of you? Okay, so how about Lisa Valenzuela and KK? There you go. Sweet. How about that, huh? All right. So I'll send you guys out your little permissions for that. Sound good? Awesome. All right, everybody. Thank you for being here. We'll see you later. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.
Are you leaving?
Yes, I'm leaving.
Okay, bye.
All right, see ya.